Welcome back to Run of Show. I'm Tanya, your host. Today on Run of Show, I'm joined by David Anderson, founder of Nautilus Financial Strategies, someone who understands that strong communities are built on clarity, trust, and informed decision-making. David works closely with individuals and families to develop long-term financial strategies rooted in stewardship and confidence. But his impact doesn't stop there. He also invests heavily in financial education, leading classes and hosting informational events designed to simplify complex topics and equip people with practical tools they can use right away. In this episode, we talk about the power of education, the role of classes in building momentum, and how creating spaces for learning and connection can strengthen not just portfolios, but the people and businesses that make up our community. And a special thank you to this season's title sponsor, Rafaela O'Reilly, Roxy, and Crystal Soundstage Productions. They're your go-to for live sound, production support, and creating unforgettable experiences at your events. I appreciate you so much. Let's jump in. First thing is, I would like to thank you for taking the time out to sit with me today. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. Just tell me all the things that you've got going on. Mm-hmm. Now, tell me, first of all, are you a Pensacola native?
No, it's Air Force brat. So my dad was Air Force, but we didn't move a lot. So I was born in Albany, Georgia, and then went to Germany when I was an infant. So I don't even remember that. But then it was back and forth to Albany. The last two stints were Del Rio, Texas, Laughlin Air Force Base when I was 9 to 13, and then came to Fort Walton Beach, Eglin Air Force Base when I was 13, 1976. So I've been a panhandle rat since I was 13. So,
panhandle rat. Well, I was going to say a southerner.
Came over to Pensacola in 86 from Fort Walton. So
what made you pick Pensacola specifically?
UWF, came up to get my degree. Yeah, and then I worked Department of Navy out at the Navy base for 17 years.
Right, and this decided to stay. This is home now.
Yeah. Kelly's, my wife's from here, and her mom's here, so we stay for family.
Right. And you have kids that stay here too?
One. I have a kid. He's 25.
25. He's kind of young. You know.
Yeah, well, we had him when we were old.
Right. You could pay more attention to him. Yeah, so. And does he plan on staying here in Pensacola?
Yeah, he doesn't have any plans of moving. He's virtual. He has a editing, book writing business called ZDA Press. So you can find him at ZDApress.com. All right. But he edits and writes book. He's produced 2 novels, working on his 3rd, and doing a rewrite of his first one. Wow. And he actually helped me get my book done, Non-Convincing Language. So without him, it would still be sitting on the shelf of wanting to be done. But I paid him, he got it done.
Yeah. So you wrote a book. That's exciting. Now, did it take you a long time? What was that process?
Well, I promised it, this concept of non-convincing language, a language technique, or really is a philosophy that we talk about. Everybody says you need to write a book. I said, well, I really don't have to, because I was speaking on it, training on it, getting paid to talk about it. And so I started a book, kept building stories in the book, but just ain't got time to slow down to stop, flush out all the stories, get the editing done, stuff like that. And I said, well, man, I'm an idiot. I got a publisher in my house.
Right.
And so I told Zach, I said, look, I need this book for this conference I'm going to go speak in Tennessee, up by Nashville. And I said, so I gave him the book I started. I've been sitting in the queue for 10 years.
Oh, my gosh.
And 40 gigabytes of video, audio, training stuff that I've done. And I said, assemble it. I said, you got 2 months. I'll pay you 10 grand, get it done.
Right.
He said, 10 grand, 2 months, done. So,
right.
So 2 months, 10 grand, I got a book.
Yeah. And what is it called again?
Non-convincing language.
What does that mean? What is that about?
Well, it's not even a word. Non-convincing is not a word, but I'm a Southern boy, so you can make them up. So it would really be unconvincing. The theory was, from a study group in 07, a guy made a comment, just a comment, says, Dave, really to change your business, get out of the convincing business, get in the sorting business and sort fast. Be in front of people that want to be in front of you.
Sorting business.
And I'm not that way. I want to help everybody whether they want my help or not. Right? I'm that guy. Right. I want to come in on my white horse and help you. Whether you want it or not, I want to help you. Well, that's not effective. So I just took that concept of non-convincing, get out of the convincing business, right? So non-convincing really didn't even exist. And I said, what does that look like? How do you talk without constantly validating and convincing? That's what most language is. So as I explored it, it's like, this was November of 07. I just digested the thought until summer of 08. And then I started talking to friends about, I just want to be more effective. I've been a coachy guy, encouragement guy all my life with good intention, but good intention doesn't always mean good effectiveness. And I want to be more effective. It's what you do for somebody else that matters, right? Not for you. So as I was talking to people, they go, Dave, you got to do something with this. Well, there was no this. Like, what do you mean this? Do something with what?
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing, right? Wasn't a widget. And so I don't even remember how the name non-convincing is just, Southern people, we get to make up words. That's the privilege of being a Southern boy. And it just stuck. So, and then there's 4 pillars of non-convincing language. It's not a technique thing. And they just develop because there's nothing in communication that doesn't hit the 4 pillars.
Okay.
Right. And there's like the pillar number 1 is never start a conversation assumptively. I don't know how you do that, but it's philosophical. Right. That means set all your agenda down to really understand somebody, because we come in with assumptions, knowledge, education, religious beliefs, political beliefs, our own definition of words that could be a little different than somebody else's. So we communicate massively with assumptions. Right. And we ought to try to remove as many as we can. So I don't know that you can achieve that, but the goal is worth it. Pillar number 2, they're not in order, they're just pillars, is ask amazing fundamental questions. You're wanting to ask the question deeper than the question that's on the table. An example is if somebody says, Dave, why should I use you as a financial professional? Instead of convincing, well, I've been in business 20 years, blah, 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 all that, just say, well, let me ask you something. Are you really looking for financial help? See, that's a fundamental question.
Right.
If he's not looking for financial help, what difference does it make what I do?
Right.
And sit here and try to convince him when he's not even interested. Yeah. He's a do-it-yourselfer, which I think is great. Be a do-it-yourselfer, not a problem. And so those are hard, but it's fundamental questions come from curiosity to heart. You got to really be curious about somebody. Right. And then pillar number 3 is third part of the obstacle. We've all heard it. Criticize the act, not the person. Right. Criticize the sin, not the sinner. Right. Right type of deal. So if I coach somebody, especially on a biblical basis, being a person of faith, it's easy in that one because we're both holding the Bible in high regard as God's word. So instead of giving them my advice, I just use the Bible as third party. It's like, hey, what would God have us do here? Right. And so now it's not so personal or self-righteous or something like that. And then the fun one is, that everybody could do this today, is number 4, statements don't require a response. We respond to a lot of statements. Doesn't mean don't respond. Right. They don't require one. So you don't have to jump in and validate. If somebody comes up to you and says, well, I think, podcasting is stupid. Right? Right. Well, what do we want to do? We want to defend because we're doing podcasting, right? It's like, well, why do you think podcasting is stupid? Don't you know it does it? So now why are you having to validate? They haven't asked you anything. Yeah. It's just, this is a comment. Anybody can say whatever they want to. Just acknowledge you heard them because people want to be heard. Say, okay. Yeah. And be quiet. They'll talk again. Right. Oh, yeah. And so it's just fun to think, and it makes us listen better. So you listen to go, did they ask me something or just make a statement? Right. Because a lot of statements are made that don't need to be addressed. And most of the time it gets you in deeper trouble. Oh, yeah. Right. That makes a lot of sense. So that was the pillars. And then I've had thousands of hours of conversation and dialogue, which is great and to learn. And I still can't do it. People say, Dave, how'd you learn this? I go, I haven't. I just built the framework for all of us to work on, including me. Right. And because we're human and we get emotionally compromised or buttons get pressed. And so it's a challenge. But when you listen to people talk, it's yapping at one another. Right. Most of the time in marriages, parent-child relationships, and et cetera. And one of the depths of non-convincing language is get a person to say what you want to tell them. Oh, yeah. Make it their idea. That's a wife trick. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, because, who wants to be told what to do? Right. Right. And then we tell people, it's like words really matter because if somebody comes for retirement plan and says, Dave, I want to retire comfortably. Well, I don't know what comfortable means to them. Their comfort level, mine might be different. Right. It's relative. So you can't just assume you know what that means. If a kid says trust, well, your view of trust might be different than his. Trust about what? What's the depth of it? Most words are what we call surface noise. Right. Where did those words come from? How did they generate out of the body? Because, it comes from our core inside through our subconscious, our conscious, and our verbal physical world. So there's lots of filters in communication that get overlooked. Lots of things. Point being, I need to get your book. Yeah, well, I'll give you one. I meant to give you one when you left the other day. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just give you one and sign it. I can't wait to dive into that. I hear a lot of similar principles to sales, like with sales
if I were to sell this planter to someone, I wouldn't say buy this planter. I'd say, well, what kind of plants do you already have in your house? All those kinds of things.
Or fundamental more. Do you like plants?
Right. Do you really like plants or just want the aesthetic?
I don't like plants.
Right?
Yeah, so I don't like plants. Well, why am I going to try to sell them a plant?
Right, exactly. Yeah. What room are you going to put in? Why do you need it? What's your aesthetic?
Yeah, we jump in a lot of times because, especially in sales, the person is excited or they need to sell it to make a living or whatever. Right. So they have an agenda about their widget. Mm-hmm. Sales would be great if you let go of your agenda about your widget.
Right. Yeah.
All you're trying to do is sorting. Mm-hmm. Be in front of the people that want your thing.
Right.
Quit worrying about the ones that don't.
Right.
Because when we worry about that, that's a scarcity mentality.
Right.
And we need to have an abundant mentality.
Right. An abundant mentality.
There's plenty of people that want plants.
Right. There's plenty of
plant stores all over the place, isn't there?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I just need to find those people.
Yeah.
And so many times in marketing and sales, we're trying to fight for the people that don't fit us. Mm-hmm. We don't need to do that. There's plenty of people that fit the thing that you sell or you want to do or provide.
So it sounds like you've got experience with marketing and sales, but that's not what you do now currently with Nautilus. What does Nautilus do?
The firm, Nautilus Financial Strategies, the reason it's named that way, Nautilus is from the University of West Florida. I was a graduate in 1988.
Okay.
And a lot of what people don't know about the Nautilus shell is there's a Nautilus poem that UWF uses for one of their foundational things. And in that poem, it says, build thee more stately mansion. Oh. The educational process of building. A Nautilus starts with a seed and builds the chambers bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like, as we learn, we grow and build a bigger mansion. And so I use that concept for, retirement estate planning stuff to go, well, how do we build a bigger estate? Mm-hmm. Well, it's systematic and we grow. It's procedural.
We grow on it.
And so the Nautilus came in, and then we're not a transactional firm, just to come in and buy something. Mm-hmm. It's strategic retirement planning that says, what are we really trying to do? And we believe in this, right? Money goes two places. Okay. It's either spent or saved. That's it. Right. It's not complicated. Everybody wants to make it complicated to justify their certificate or their Rolex, right? But it's not complicated. It's just money.
Okay.
And so, but what's the balance of that? The ratio that's in balance. That's what people get wrong. 99% of the time, right? Mm-hmm. We've modeled 99 or over 2,000 models all over the nation. And the percentage is like 99% of all models fail. What we could say fail is people don't have an ever increasing income the rest of their life, which just means enough money to maintain their standard of living relative to inflation. That's all it means. Right.
Okay.
And so why aren't people mapping that out? Right? Everybody's saying plan for less, plan for less. That's dumb as a brick, plan for less. Why do you want to plan for less, right? You need to fire those people. And so we believe in a balanced model, which is at least maintain your standard of living. Mm-hmm. And like I said, 99% of most models don't do that. Right. And people are unaware because they don't have these ratios right. So now we're very strategic. So that's why we're Nautilus Financial Strategies. It's all strategy. How do we reduce taxes? How do we reduce loss opportunity cost?
Right.
How do we potentially lose risk while still increasing wealth?
Right.
Right? Because there's so much wasted inefficiencies inside of a financial model that most people are just leaking oil because they're not paying attention. They're off working and doing their thing.
They don't know. They just don't know. Like you're speaking Greek to me. I'm like, I know I've heard all these words, but I'm like, oh my, this is why we need you as a professional. Now, were you always a numbers person? Like you didn't grow up saying, I want to be a financial guy.
No, in fact, this was not on my radar life at all. So
what was your dream?
My career goal was I was going to be a front seat of a fighter plane in the Air Force. Oh, my dad was Air Force. I was Air Force brat, and I wanted to be a fighter pilot. Mm-hmm. And so I spent all my school career to get an appointment to the U.S. Air Force Academy, which is tough to get an appointment to Academy. And I got the appointment and turned it down.
Really? Yeah. You finally got to where you wanted to go.
Yeah, so I was like 18 years old, coming out of high school, doing all the work because you got to get congressmen's letters and scholastics, all these things to even get, interviewed. Right. So you go to an interview panel. There's 3 guys interviewing me for the final thing to offer you an appointment to the Academy. And back then, you couldn't have corrective vision. I still didn't wear glasses, but I just lost 20/20 vision and no correction back then. Today, you could probably get in. But I said, am I going to be able to be in the front seat of a fighter jet? I said, no, you can be a navigator or this, that. And I said, no, I want to be a navigator. I had one goal. Mm-hmm. No plan B.
No plan B.
No.
Oh, that's scary.
So it's pretty much like a straight A student, physics, calculus, all that kind of stuff, right?
All the
with
things.
With a drive towards engineering.
Yeah.
And then now I say no.
Right. And no plan B. So
no plan B.
What was your pivot?
I didn't have one. So at the time I did the appointment, I owned a gas station in Fort Walton Beach.
Okay.
So I opened a gas station up when I went to Niceville Senior High School in Fort Walton. When I was 17 years old, my dad retired.
Why did you open a gas station of all things?
Well, that was funny. I was doing property management for a real estate company when I was 16. And I knew a lot of pilots working on an appointment to the Air Force Academy. So I always had friends that were pilots, and my dad being an air traffic controller, I was always around pilots. Well, a pilot buddy was doing real estate on the side, finishing up his military flight career.
Okay.
We went to lunch one day, just off the whim. And on Highway 98 in Fort Walton, there's a Texaco station that said for lease. I said, hey, you want to open a gas station? He goes, sounds fun.
Random?
Just, that's how it happened. I mean, there was no planning. That's how it happened. And then so we formed a corporation. And so people said, Dave, where'd you get the money? I mean, I'm a poor military child from an enlisted man, right? We made like $6 a year.
Right.
And so I didn't have the seed money. He took a second mortgage on a condo that he had out in Destin for the seed money to open the business. We formed a corporation. He was 51% owner. I was 49% owner. And then my dad retired, and I hired my dad to be the manager. So I was my dad's boss when I was 17.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
So I'm running the gas station as I did the appointment to the Air Force Academy. And the guys asked me, says, Dave, what are you going to do? Or where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I said, guys, whatever I got to do, I'm going to succeed. I just don't know how to fail. I said, if I fall down, I'm going to get up.
Right.
And I'm always going to get up more times than I fall down. You know, a little secret is, it don't matter how many times you fall down. I'm not scared to fall down.
Right.
I'm going to get up.
Right.
Look, Lord help me, I'm going to get up and keep, because, you know, falling down just teaches you. That's all it does. And so, but I swam around lost for about 5 years. I went to Okaloosa Walton Junior College before it became a state college. 5 years, grades plummeted because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So misdirection. So you weren't
interested in it.
Yeah, I knew I needed to go to school, start getting my degree. I probably owned the record for the number of withdrawals out of a junior college on the planet, and then had to repay for classes, and I paid all out of pocket. I took a computer course as an elective, and I thought this was interesting, and then I decided to get a computer science degree. And then I came over to UWF, and I was back on track, and you know, took a semester, and then I got back on the straight A track, and out of there I went. And then that led to a co-op position out at the Navy base, because I have a computer science degree. Nothing to do with financials. Right. And got in the computer field, and I co-opted started in 87, got hired on the government in 1989. So I did system science, computer science, and I had an IT career. And I worked for the government for 17 years. And then I was coaching money, being a business owner young. And I coach people. I've been coaching people since I was 12, which is a weird story. But so I'm the encouragement guy, coach guy, you know, just try to be an encouragement to people. All that led to non-convincing language as well, because some people don't want your help. Right. You want to help them, they want your help. So you got to learn to be effective. So that's all a lifetime built non-convincing language, not some whim. So at the age of 40, as my faith walk was growing more and more and more, the thing about watching money, I help people with budgets, cash flow, business and stuff since I was, you know, a young teenager. Well, and in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s. And so it's like in the 90s, I went out, you know, me and my wife were doing fine, both government employees, right? I would say we were GS nothings, making nothing, but we did okay. And, but I always want to know, my tagline is relentless pursuit of betterment. How do you get better? How do you get better, right? There's never a final, just get better, right? And don't even measure it to anybody else, just improve. All you can do is improve you to the level you can. How that ranks, who cares? I don't believe in the ranking stuff. Just get better. And so here I am, I said, now what do I do with money to do better? I'm doing fine, we're putting money away, all the typical stuff. And I went out to the financial world. And I could see a lot of people wanting to sell me things, but I couldn't find what I call real help. What really makes it different.
Oh, I understand that.
And so then I got mad about that. And so now this aggravation built into me. And then people started saying, Dave, you ought to get in the financial business. I ain't no pipe dream to get in the financial business. I'm going to kill somebody if I get in the financial business. And so long story short, at the age of 40, and I love my government job, right? I was people that know the GS scale, I was a GS 13 step 8, being promoted to a 14, and I love to go to work. Ran a $65 million program for the Naval Education Training Command.
Oh, gosh.
And so catbird seat, love my work, started out as a programmer back in the mainframe days. I saw all the local area network windows get developed, PCs in the workplace, all that. So it was a neat era.
Right.
And I liked it. And I had benefits, steady paycheck, which I like, very calculated kind of person. Not as entrepreneurial as people would believe. But at 40, I walk away to zero income to get into sales. I'm not a salesy guy.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm going to go live on commissions, selling insurance investments.
Yeah,
I don't know about this. But, God calling said, let your aggravation be your avocation. Go do something about it. Don't complain. Go do something about it. So, height of my career, loving to go to work. By the way, that's when you quit. You never quit when it's bad, only when it's good. I left the government. I got with an agency system in the financial business. Did that for a couple of years and said, to do the mission that I want, I have to be independent.
Right.
So then I founded Nautilus in 2007, built my own software and tools and everything. And we just kind of do it our way.
Yeah.
And the tool is called the lifetime income process. And it's just a 2-line graph. It's a graph that says green is what you want. Red is what your model does. You want your red line to stay on your green line.
Right.
Right?
Easy enough. Right.
Easy
for
enough.
You. That's why we hire you.
So here we are, 23 years later after leaving the government.
The financial whiz that you are today. And you've got some things that are coming up that I want to talk about. But first, I want to circle back to that 12-year-old story. Tell me that story.
Well, Mom says this is weird, right? I guess I'm a weird guy. That's what I've been told for 60-something years. But
me too.
I just had a perspective that I would just watch the world in a very observant type of way, which is weird because I'm a kind of an analytical zeros and ones computer guy.
Right.
But I can still speak conceptually a little bit. So,
but you're 12 years old. What grade are you in at 12 years old?
What are you in?
6th, 7th grade?
Yeah, something like that. You're little nothing, right? Mom says Dave was my child that was born grown up. That's Mom saying it, not me. I mean, I looked at me, I was like a, dumb kid doing dumb things, right? I mean, but there was times where Mom and Dad would call me out of my bedroom because I was back there building a rocket or something like that because I did rockets and airplanes and all that, to talk to their adult friends about certain things that I was talking about. And one of the big topics was I really struggled with watching the human condition with this comparative mindset. And so I've been speaking about non-comparative mindset since I was 12. And what that means is, what do people do? It's like, well, he's more popular. He's prettier. They're better. I'm worse. And you're ranking yourself against another human being, which I think is a total waste of brain juice because it can never end well.
Right.
Comparison by measurement can never end well.
Right.
Somebody's going to like that painting better than you do, or that person better than you do, or whatever. Yeah. What difference does it make?
Right.
You're just you. Yeah, be the best version of you, right? Yeah. We've all heard that. Be a first-rate version of you.
You're 12 years old.
12.
Like, your parents have a dinner party, and they're like, "Come out here and tell them what you said about the stuff." Yeah. At 12, and it really took off from there. I mean,
it's just been a thing of who I've been. It's like I love people and I love the human condition. Not afraid of it. It's messy. Life is messy. Let's face the mess and do something with it.
Right.
And I said, but I tell people, like, comparison by admiration is a valuable thing.
Okay.
Just like you, if I watch you do this podcast stuff like that. And if, say, it's a field I'm interested in, and you're really good at it, and I can learn from you to be better than I am.
Right.
I don't worry about if I get better than you. I don't want to rank it. Yeah. But if I admire what you're doing and can learn from it and be better, that's a useful thing.
Right.
Ranking it is not useful.
Well, I'll tell you that sparks a thought of mine. I started the podcast last year. And I've been meeting more and more people. And I met this one gal and she says, "Oh, I have this friend that started a podcast and she's got thousands of followers and views and subscribers." I'm like, "Really?" Well, she must have been doing it for years, right? No, she started in October. I'm like, "Really?" And so I
need to talk to her.
I know, I need to talk to her. So I went in and I didn't look at it like, "Oh, she's doing better." I was like, "What is she doing different?" Because I'm really happy with what I'm doing. Yeah. I think I've got a solid foundation. And so I started looking at what she's doing successfully that I can incorporate. Like I said, by admiration. I'm like, "Wow, she's doing a really great job. What can I take from her?" And not to be better, but to better myself. Because like I said, I think I got a pretty solid foundation. So,
well, exactly. I'm a person of faith. So what's my measuring stick? Jesus.
Right.
Okay, he was sinless.
Right.
Well, I can't say that.
Well,
right. And so that just keeps me humble in my place. It's like, if I look at Jesus as my measuring stick in comparison, well, I suck.
Right.
Right. Even as a person of faith, doing the best I can. So it's like, I'm never going to be Christ. There's only one Christ.
Right.
But I tell you what, it's a great measuring stick for the way I want to live my life. And so it gives me great encouragement and humility to work to be better.
Right.
Because all I can do is get better and better and better. And that's all I want to do. I want to be better. I want to be more effective. That's non-convincing language. The idea there is I want to be able to communicate more effectively with people so it makes a bigger difference for them.
Right.
Because our knowledge is no good unless it transfers and helps that person do something, what I call move the meter of another person's life.
All right. So
and that's how I get fulfilled.
That's a good segue into, let's talk about the things that you do, classes, workshops. What exactly is that all about?
Well, yeah, a couple of things. So from a financial perspective, we did workshops a long time ago. We just took a break because we do good through the attrition of our business and referrals and that type of thing. But we love to do educational things. So I've been doing mostly just non-convincing language around the country. I speak on it. Now I have the book To Leave Behind. Actually train companies. I counsel marriages, parent-child relationships. I teach churches on sharing the gospel without building walls and having a burden of sharing the gospel. It shouldn't be hard to go share something, whatever it is. We just so battle all the time, verbal jousting, we call it. And so we just did one of those. We hooked up with the University of West Florida, my old alma mater.
Now, was it your idea to start doing these?
No, we got to give credit to, Rhonda Ford is a good friend of mine. And we said, hey, let's work on some promotional things. And she's real good at connecting people and things like that. So I said, how about connecting Nautilus to some things and let's just experiment and play.
Okay.
And so we started looking at doing certain types of educational workshops, right? I don't want to do the dinner seminar thing and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, I love to do education so people know with no threat or obligations or anything. We don't believe in pressure. We believe in help.
Right.
And so Rhonda connected with the University of West Florida and Pensacola State College. And then they have this thing called leisure learning. You can train a class and it goes in their catalog. So we're just like, let's try it. Let's see what we can do. And we had a full successful one yesterday. We did non-convincing language and it was a full room. And so that was nice. And we've got...
How big are these classes and how long do they last?
Well, the class we did yesterday was an hour and a half. Okay. We've got part 1 and part 2 retirement planning classes coming up through leisure learning at UWF in March and April. It's like March 10th from 10 to 12, 2 hours. And then April 8th, 10 to 12.
That's the day after my birthday.
And I'm April 2nd.
My dad is April 2nd.
How about that?
Yeah, and he was in the Navy.
Oh, well, good. And so we're doing those. And so the first one got great traction. And they're purely educational. We don't have a sales pitch there or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is walk through part 1 and part 2 retirement planning from the basics of this cash flow ratio thing to basic ideas of money, the hazards of money, like take Social Security when and why, because most people get it wrong.
That's a good question.
We're going to talk about the risk of money from CDs to the stock market. We're going to talk about IRAs and Roths and the basics of them. Roth conversions, do you do them when and how do you know? Some tax strategy work. Some topics on the One Big Beautiful Bill, what really impacts you and what doesn't from all this legislation stuff that you hear. What does it really mean to you? So we're going to give a 2-part thing. So it's be 4 hours total of just good educational information that everybody knows. Like one of the big topics we'll talk about is properly naming beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Most people, 20 years in this business, I see them all the time to do beneficial reviews. I'm not sure anybody's ever got one right that's been in the door.
Oh, gosh.
There's a lot more to it than naming my wife and my 2 kids 50-50. Right. There's a lot more to it. So we're going to educate people about that to hopefully stimulate their mind to go back and pay attention to their life and make sure they got stuff in order. Right. Do you got your legal documents done? Do you have your will and power of attorney and healthcare surrogate and that kind of stuff? We're going to talk about those things that just give you a big, broad picture with some details. And we'll have some fun strategic things in there. Like I might show some things about, how do you leverage money to get your car for free?
Right.
right?
That would be
or you just like paying for cars because they depreciate like crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of
Yeah.
fun doing these things purely educational. There's no pressure for anything. So
Right.
we'll have those coming up.
That sounds like a lot of the topics that, like I said before, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But now, like with the IRAs and retirements and all that, those are questions that I know I do have. You know, and getting a little bit older, my oldest daughter handed me this binder recently, like end of life, basically. Like, here's where you put all your important documents. And do you have a will, Mama? I'm like,
Have you got me named in the will?
right. Have you got? She's doing well. She works for the bank, and so she's doing real. She knows all those things, and she's done a lot to educate me. You know, it's good to have kids who know things, and it's good if your kids know more than you. I think, you know.
Well, look, I tell people if I'm the smartest guy out there, we're in trouble. You know, we're in big trouble. So I always look to hang around smarter people than me.
Oh, goodness. And now you're doing these events. It sounds like since 12 or probably even sooner, you were educating people. So it sounds like it's right in your wheelhouse. And I asked you earlier, I said, what were your struggles to begin with? And you're like, none, it's great. But you didn't have any struggles?
Now, the funny thing about speaking, so, you know, I speak all over the place and, you know, big platform speaker and all that kind of stuff. And I have like zero fear of public speaking. I mean, my heart rate doesn't change.
Gosh, I'm the opposite end of the...
Well, but yeah, most people, it's one of the greatest fears. Now, so here's the story behind that. I don't like fear. So you want to struggle. This was a struggle. If there's like, when I was scared of the dark as a kid, I'd walk in a dark room.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I just didn't want to face it. I don't like to be afraid of anything. So I just go stand in the dark room until I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Oh, gosh.
Same with speaking. It's like, I remember in third grade, when the teacher would say, who wants to read this newspaper article or something? I didn't. I was going to vomit. I raised my hand anyway.
Oh, gosh.
I just forced myself to do it. People say, how'd you get over it, Dave? It's like, and when? It's like, it was probably well into junior college.
Yeah.
And then I started getting speaking events because I did, back in the day, some motivational talks and things like that. Go stand.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Run of Show. And a special thank you again to our season's title sponsor, Roxy. Her band, Password Reset, and her company, Crystal Soundstage Productions, is your go-to for live sound production support and creating unforgettable experiences at your events. You can find Run of Show on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps the show grow, and I appreciate you so much. Now, back to our conversation with David.
And so all the things that people tell you didn't work for me, like, hey, think the audience is naked, you know, or whatever. It's like, I don't want to think about that anyway.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't want to think about that.
I saw the audience. They need their clothes on. You know, that was going to mess me up.
Yeah.
But those kind of things didn't work. What worked for me is because where my heart is. It's not about Dave.
Right.
I'm there speaking a message or training or whatever, right? Because I've always been, you know, my spiritual gifts are teaching, makes sense, and encouragement.
Okay.
Right. So, you know, that's just my nature. And so when I learned, they're asking me to speak, so evidently the message has some value.
Right.
Not Dave. Dave's just Dave. And so when I got that in my head, I never again worried about me.
Right. Right.
I prepare well. I'm going to deliver the message. Now, if I deliver it not so great because a speaker said, or whatever, I didn't care because it's not a reflection on me. I just got to deliver this message good enough that it can make a difference for those people hearing the message.
Right.
If they remember the message and forget me, then I did a good job.
Then you did a good job.
If they remember me and not the message, that's good for your ego tank, but I did a bad job.
Yeah. So what are the things that excite you about doing these classes?
I just, you know, I'm insatiable. So one of my taglines is, the relentless pursuit of betterment, right? I'm relentless every day in education. I learn and learn and learn. I got to know how everything works about everything. I have a disease, you know, so that's the way it works. And so what I don't like is bad information being given out there. That's just nonsense. And I want people to have, this is me wanting to help, whether they want my help or not, type of deal.
Right.
I want them to have the right information to make good decisions. Right. Not tainted information, not biased information. I mean, I guess we all have some biases, but as much as it can be. Facts are facts. When it comes to financials, math is math. Right. We're fixing to do a educational thing on it's a complex things about leveraging money on loan.
Okay.
Like How does a traditional loan work? Is it better to leverage my money and pay interest only? Is it better to compound my interest on debt and leverage my money?
Right.
How do those different scenarios play out mathematically? Nobody even really talks about them.
Yeah, right. Nobody talks about them.
And it's like, well, there's a lot of wealth lost because we're sitting idle on strategic things about math.
Right, yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely, because like I said, I'm picking up a little bit on what you're saying just because general knowledge, but that's just like for adults, what they should teach for kids in classrooms, like how to balance a checkbook, simple little things like that. And as we got older, okay, now we know how to balance our bank accounts. Now we need to look at investing and then all that. And they just don't teach that.
Well, you
teach that now.
Well, and you change, look, a lot of it's psychology. You got to change the language of things. Like one of the things we don't do in our office is say budget.
Okay.
Right? When you say budget, people pucker up. Right? You think you killed them. Like, oh, they're taking away from me. Right? It's a restrictive word.
Right. It is. Yeah.
But now what if I say, hey, what we're going to do is build a balanced spending plan.
Okay.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, spending. I like that.
Right. Spending.
Well, what's a balanced spending plan? A budget. Right?
Right.
But the psychology of the language matters.
Absolutely.
And so we don't say budget. We say, man, we're going to build a great spending plan. It's just going to be in balance.
Yeah.
And people, just the resistance goes away.
Right. Yeah. And that lowers that first barrier.
It does. And it's like, there's a big story about my truck. People, like even I train financial professionals. So we have a program where they sign up and I train them. And we do Monday morning training every Monday, live video recordings and all this. And I always tease them about like the thing about get your car for free. And they go, Dave, are you really going to tell us how this works? I said, let me just give you a real life example. It's like, because people think it's dumb, but run the math, right? And I don't promote debt because I think there's a big difference between being in debt, that's a slave to debt, means I don't have the money,
right? Versus
versus having debt. So being in debt versus having debt. Having debt means I have the money to kill that debt if I want to. Why wouldn't I? Because the debt needs to be making me money. How does debt make you money? So simple concept is my truck, depreciating asset, right? I bought it in 2011. It's a 2010 Ford F-150.
Okay.
Right? The truck new was $42,000. I bought it 1 year old through auction, got it for $29,500. So I already saved $10,000 being a year old versus new. Right? So that's money saved.
Right.
Okay. Which ends up being a lot of money in retirement if you didn't spend it.
Right.
Compound. So then I sold my old truck. It was 15 years old, basically, and I had $4,000, and I put that down. And then I borrowed $25,500 on my truck.
Okay.
Off the line of credit on my home.
Okay.
So you can pay interest only. So now I've paid interest only on the truck because it's still on the same truck. So what now? For 15 years, I've paid interest only on the truck, never a dollar principal.
Oh.
Sounds dumb. All that means is I kept my $25,000 at work.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's separated from my truck. Okay? And then my interest only payment was like $51.
Right.
So it's a small truck payment.
Yeah.
Right? So it's easy to handle cash flow wise. Well, I got lucky, right? It's not going to be for everybody, so don't take this, but I got lucky on some investments. That $25,000 now is worth well over $200,000.
Wow.
That isolated money.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, if I pay all the interest on my truck and pay my truck off, that's about $45,000.
Right.
So take $200,000, make the math easy, minus 40 or 50, I'm 150 up.
Right.
So the truck structure made me over $150,000.
It's just crazy.
So what did my truck cost me? Nothing.
Right.
And I made money to buy all the other trucks. Look, I'm 62 years old. I keep them for 15 years. I got like 2 trucks left.
Oh gosh.
And I'm gonna be dead.
Oh my goodness.
So that's just, I'm not telling people to do it or not do it, recommend to do it. It's just there's so much about money that there's more to it than let me just put it in my 401k. Let me put it in my IRA or my Roth and just let it accumulate. That's good.
Right.
But there's a whole lot more.
Yeah. There's more than Dave
Ramsey's
Ramsey's baby
more.
steps.
Yeah, there's a lot more than Dave Ramsey.
It sounds like I need to be taking your classes. And oh my goodness. So tell us, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to hire you for services or take your classes?
Well, number one, you can't hire me because I don't charge a fee ever. You're welcome to come and get all the help, and there's no obligation to buy anything here at Nautilus. We will give you world-class treatment. We will build your financial model. We will go through it. We'll help you get everything right, and you're under no obligation from us, and you'll never get pressure, and there'll never be a fee.
Okay.
We're a commission-only firm. We ain't worried about the commission.
Right.
Right. So don't feel any pressure. I designed this place to be a place where people could come and get real help from a professional with no pressure.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Right. Because I mean, they're already worried about money
resource.
To begin
yeah,
with,
that's like, I'm not worried about it.
More.
We help a lot of people.
Right.
Right. We'll make commissions when there's transactions on insurance and investments. We're licensed in both arenas. When it happens, when it's necessary, when it's right on a model. So we don't have that stress, and we don't want clients coming in here with that stress either.
Right.
So we don't just come in and meet with us for an hour and see if we're a fit and if we can help you. If nothing else, we'll get to be friends and we'll have a good time chatting for a minute.
That sounds wonderful.
So the easiest way to get a hold of us is just call us. Our phone number is 850-637-1585. Or you can go to the website, nautilusfinancialstrategies.com.
Perfect.
So very easy to get. And we're right here on Garden Street in Pensacola. We're very accessible.
Right. Garden Street. Y'all need to come shop Garden Street more. Garden Street has a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, downtown, we're doing good for downtown Pensacola. Downtown Pensacola keeps improving.
It does.
Which is really, really nice. And, I'm glad about our city. We want, I was talking to a politician the other day, and he had a great message of why he wants to get into politics in the city. He says, Dave, he's got 2 young daughters. He goes, I want my young daughters to inherit a better Pensacola that they want to stay in.
Right.
Now they can choose to leave, but you want to provide a place. It's a desirable area to stay, not one you want to get out of. And I thought that's a great message.
Absolutely. I had a similar conversation with someone yesterday about that, making Pensacola a better place for our kids.
Well, and you're helping that. So with you doing your podcast and stuff like that, there's so much information out there that our city's doing, people are involved in.
Right.
Look, every time I learn something, the dumber I feel. Right. So it's like, I'm meeting with a group they're a leadership group for like basically HOAs in the city to make the city better. I didn't even know that was going on.
Right.
I know about HOAs in my neighborhood and all that, but there's so much going on that people are involved in. And so by doing these things and letting people know what's going on in Pensacola, what events are out there, that's a service to Pensacola. So kudos to you.
Right. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And I'm learning more as I'm doing this. I'm meeting more people and learning about more things. So I absolutely love it. It's a win-win for me. So tell me, what words of wisdom would you like to leave our listeners with?
One of the things I'm very blessed about that I think is very important in life, the mission of our firm is a heartfelt mission. It's not even about money. We have this saying, to put money in its place, which means, ever increasing income, financial balance, right? Blah, blah, means that. Why? So you can get on with an intentional life. Too many people are existing and fussing about money and things and all that kind of stuff that in the long run, we're going to die. None of it's going with us.
Right.
And we need to start experiencing living and having an intentional life. And so that's, and be present, right? There's a lot of psychology that says, we're dwelling on things in the past we can't change. We all know that. We're worried about things in the future that may or may not happen. And there's a funny study, I think Harvard or one of the big universities did it. Even those things you're worried about in the future that may or may not happen, even if they happen, most of them wouldn't be a big impact in your life.
Right.
So why are we wasting so much brain juice on that versus, look, the Bible says this is the day the Lord has made. Let's live this day.
Yes.
None of us are promised tomorrow. And so we're so fretting in the past and the future, we're missing the present. And that's just not healthy.
Right.
Be present with the people you're with. Hey, married people, be present with your spouse. When you go to dinner, don't be thinking about the work or all that. Be present with the people that you're in front of.
Right.
And enjoy this life and be intentional about it. That's the big message is live.
That's a good message. I love that message.
Live.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for taking the time to ask some questions. Appreciate you.